All right, we're live. Brett Sommers, Strongman Brett on Instagram. I'm pulling it up here. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, Dane. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to chatting a little bit.
Thanks for coming on, dude. Um, quick explanation to the guys tuning in, guys and gals. I put out a feeler. I've been doing these pods. I've only released a couple so far, but I put out a feeler on Instagram and on YouTube that I want to interview. I'm hyping up the PSL qualifiers, right? We're talking about everything. We're talking about OSG, Arnold, your training, anything strongman. But I put out a feeler that I wanted to interview fellow athletes who are coming up the ranks, trying out PSL. Anybody who wants to have their voice be heard, give them a platform, right? So I want to get to know you here. You're the first guy, Brett, out of I think I've done 9 of these now that I still have yet to release. You're the first person that I've never met at a show or don't have some degree of separation. I just did an interview an hour ago with my GWO teammate Hunter, so at least I know Hunter in the
Okay.
group chat. So I don't have much prepared because I really just want to treat this as a getting to know you. Um, so
For sure.
let's get to know Brett Sommers. How long have you been doing strongman, Brett?
Going on about 6 years now. Been in the gym a lot longer than that. I joke sometimes that I found it a little later than I would have liked. I don't know. I had a buddy who got me into it, but only after like nudging me along for 2 years before I actually started doing it. And then I did my first show back in 2019, and I was like, I'm an idiot for not starting this sooner. I don't know what I was doing, but
How
it's
how old how old were you then?
so I was a month out from being 30. So I'm
All right,
36 now. Yeah.
all
And
right.
yeah, I wish I had gotten started a little sooner.
Dude, I'm the same. I'm 41, started strongman. Let's call it 4 years ago now. Started powerlifting 35 years old. I did like a lot of bodybuilding stuff, just going to the gym. Did bodybuilding shows when I was 33, so nothing competitive. And I'm like, man, I wish I started this earlier. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because, like you, our training age at least is maybe a little younger. So maybe we don't have a lot of the injuries piled up. Have you had any major injuries or anything you've had to come back from?
I had one back in 2020 that kept me down for a bit, a low back injury, but rehabbed from that. And, things have been pretty good for the most part. This summer slowed me down a little bit. I think, you mentioned we hadn't run into each other. I think we both did the U90 OSG last year
We
in
did.
Madison, where I live, but I just never got the chance to bump into you and talk to you at all. That was kind of last year was a bit of a whirlwind. Because as I kind of started to progress in the sport, I thought about, I'd like to try to get to OSG at some point. And for whatever reason, I don't even know that I had a good one, but 2025 was sort of the year in my head. I was like, okay, I put a little more work in, and then that's when I'm going to go for it. Well, then OSG announced it was going to be in Madison, and the Alliant Energy Center's 10 minutes from my house. And I was like, well, I'm going to go one way or the other, so I might as well be on the floor, right?
Yeah.
And um, I mean, that kind of like changed everything that I had laid out for 2024. I had never cut to a to a U90 level before. Like my body weight had always been a little bit higher walking around. I was usually like in the 230s, but
Oh
I just
yeah.
didn't like a U105 route for my frame was realistic. So it was like
Those weights
seven
are
months.
heavy.
Yeah, 7 months of dieting, lots of prep, went down to Texas to that OSG qualifier that Derek Owens put on, and made it through there, and then
Yep.
got to compete and at home. So that was kind of how that all came about. And then I didn't do as well as I would have liked or I thought I was capable of doing. Big goal was to get back for 2025 and have a better performance. And then I did have a little bit of a hiccup, nothing major, but kind of kept me from doing the qualifier. I pulled out of the Midwest qualifier and still wasn't quite ready to go when all the online qualifiers were happening. So um, now it's time to refocus for 2026. And I've been, I feel like this last, I guess since May of 25, my training intensity and frequency has been down a bit, and so an early season show like PSL I think is a good fit for me and trying to bounce back a little bit.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. And then yeah, we'll talk about PSL. You could do the qualifier, then do the 90 show if you qualify, and then that could bleed into OSG again. Maybe around the same time PSL's happening, you could do the online qualifier. We'll talk about that in a little bit. let's stick on the journey. So yeah, OSG, you're qualified. I looked it up. You got second, right? And I think Dax Tellez was at that one who I followed.
Yep.
He did pretty decent with us at OSG. So he had a good
Good.
class, right? The
Yep.
90s were pretty well represented at all the OSG qualifiers. My class had 10 guys. I also did the in-person qualifier route because dude, it was in my backyard. Similar to you, I mean,
Okay.
similar to you. I started strongman, jumped in a show, a novice show. A couple months later, jumped in a USS Open U90 show, and then USS Nationals was 3 months later in New Hampshire, an hour from me.
Wow.
So I was like, dude, if I can qualify, I might as well jump in. Like all my friends are going to be there, right? And the
Yep.
funny thing is, the owner of my gym and promoter of the show, dude, in the USS, as long as you come top three in the Open, you get a Nationals bid. And he told
Right.
me, no, you have to win. And I'm like, what? I said, dude, I thought it's top three. He goes, no, you have to win. So like I had to go to a tiebreaker and everything, dude. It was crazy. And turns out I only needed top three, but similar story, dude. It was right in my backyard. Why not? And then same thing, so my journey, I did two USS Nationals, and then 2024, yes, 2024, I did the PSL Baltimore qualifier, 105, and it was the I consider that the most competitive show I had ever done up to that point. More than nationals. A couple of the top guys in that class that year were like world class guys, including Luke Davies, who has a world record deadlift, and
Yep.
Eric Olmstead, who had done Clash and stuff previously. So I was trying to get to that next level, much like you with OSG. It didn't work out for me, but then right after that show was over, they announced an OSG qualifier in my backyard, literally 30 miles from my house. So I said to
Oh,
my
sick.
coach, "Hey man, why don't we try to go to OSG?" And I never dreamed of being an OSG guy that early on
Hmm.
in my strongman journey, and I made it to the show. Did well enough. I got 23rd last year. How'd you place last year?
I think I was 32nd.
Okay.
That log ate me up a little bit. I knew that was going to be tough. Like
Yep.
280 was like my 1 RM best that I'd ever hit. And that was kind of at a little bit heavier body weight.
Yep.
Um, and I definitely felt like by the time I got to OSG that I was still like adjusting to that lower body weight. Because like I said, I'd been like 230s,
Yeah.
cutting for 220 USS shows. Um, and after 7 months of dieting and everything else, as well as the year went competitively, I was kind of gassed by the time OSG rolled around. And so
Yep.
yeah, a zero on that log to open, even though I went for the lighter one, was unfortunate. I thought I bounced back a little bit on day two. I tried to pull that 700-pound axle and I got it off the floor, but I had to drop back down and take the
Yeah.
lighter for a
let's
few
let's
reps.
let's slow it down for a second. Let's
Yeah.
talk. Let's talk about OSG. Let's talk about day one because we lived it. So same thing, dude. I had to diet quite a ways to get lean enough for an easier water cut. Right, had a
Yep.
horrific cut. Same boat, dude. 280 was very close to a PR for me. I might have hit 285 in prep, but it's no given. And then
Hmm.
I listened to a podcast with Shane Reese from MST. I think it was with Camby, dude, about the high ceilings, and that messed me up. I was lucky to get one rep. I think I got two because that was probably my second best event. But like I was in the same boat, dude. Plus, especially because like guys like us, it's our first time, right? Um,
Yep.
Nerves, right? The crowd.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And let
Even
me
that
ask
even
you,
that midday start, that 4 o'clock start, that was weird. I
yeah, and at
like
least at
even
least
though
you had home field advantage, right? You lived
yes,
there, you're sleeping in
sleeping
your
in
own
my
bed.
own bed,
Did you
but
did you feel like from your like because I'll tell you how I felt. I'll ask you first. Like that first one, dude, right? Like obviously you want to win, everybody, but were you just happy to be there? Like almost like just happy to make it?
for sure, for sure. Like I even remember, qualifying at that qualifier. You mentioned Dax, and I've gotten to be really good buddies with him. And then the guy who won, Matt Shoemaker, he and I actually tied, but he won the tiebreaker on the last event.
Okay.
So we had the same points, but all three of us went to OSG and came up here, and um, it just even then because it wasn't something even when I started out in the sport that I even ever really considered or thought of myself as doing. It felt like a big moment. And I definitely took a second down in Texas to just kind of sit there in the chairs, where the crowd had been watching us and just kind of like, you know, this is pretty freaking cool. And there's also no guarantee that you're going to get this feeling again. I mean, I sure as hell hope that I do. But as this past year showed, like shit happens. And, you know, you, you gotta revel in that in the moment or try to because stuff changes fast.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm sure you'll get that moment again. You keep grinding, but and it's cool even at the qualifiers, the live stream, and you get to go home and watch it. I got an interview after one of my lifts. It really felt awesome. So then, yeah, OSG, like it's unfortunate to zero the first event, right? But like, almost like you're just happy to be there. Even this year for me, after I hit the first rep on the log, I looked at Nick Best and he's like, "All right, come on, dude." And I'm like, "Dude," I said, "It's gravy. I got a rep. Like the I didn't zero, and now the second rep is gravy." But um, so so yeah, it's one of those funny things. Like you just like climbing up the ranks, and then after you do a couple, like you almost get, I don't know about you, man, you get like imposter syndrome, like you don't feel like you belong, but you earned your right there, dude. You came in second at
Yep.
your qualifier, you earned the right to be there. Whether you come in first or 40th, you earned the right to rub elbows with the best in the world, the Tyler Davises, Victor
Yep.
Liegmans, Philippe. Tyler right here is at the show, and I talked to Tyler about that because things you're going to learn at PSL if you make it to the final. um so yeah, all right. How about OSG day two? So yeah, you went for the big axle. See, I didn't. So you had to like
So funny story here. So I mean, I think training, my best training pull, I had hit 640.
same
So
dude, 640
I
double, same.
so I knew that, that I didn't feel like that was a, max, I didn't feel like it was a true max. It was the highest number I had in training, but it didn't. So I was like, just the feeling of the day and being there, like, I think there's a chance. And you're only there, once. It's like, and after the day one that I had, it's like, well, what's the point of not trying 700, right?
Yeah,
I'm the likelihood of any kind of finals bid or anything like that is already out the window with a zero on
yeah,
the log. And then, no kidding, so 700 had been my goal. I had it written on my dry erase board in my garage all summer. And I get up and I'm driving to the Alliant Energy Center on one of the nearby highways. And this car flies past me on the highway and its license plate says 700. That's it. Just 700 on the license plate. And I'm
really.
like, are you kidding me right now?
It's a sign. Yeah,
Like, I was like, man, I don't know if that's a sign of anything, but I have to at least, I got to give it a try. Training went
oh yeah,
well, I feel good. And I mean, even when I felt it break the floor, I was like, okay, this is gonna go. And then it real quickly it didn't. But,
yeah, brother. I had dreams of hitting that 700 because I've never hit 700 on anything yet, and my best was a 640 double. And in warmups, dude, that I told the story already, but like I don't know, everybody was warming up, and everybody was warming up really heavy because the guys are so strong.
yep,
And dude, off to the side, and you were there with me, but you might not have noticed me. I was warming up with John Hack, Dan Benson, the two best 90 kg
yep,
deadlifters in history, and Andrew Haynes, right? And Haynes had a
yep,
bad back, so he was just going to rep out. So we're warming up with like
yep.
400, and those guys like, yeah, we don't need much weight. And one guy wanted to fight Andrew Haynes because his female athlete was still warming up, and we're like, we need
I
good weight.
was there. I remember that. Yeah, that was a
Remember,
big thing.
that guy
Yeah.
was that guy was a real jerk. I get it, dude. That girl actually podiumed the Open. I want to say 64, 73s, whatever it was. So she's a great athlete, but she mistimed her warmups, and it cost some of us because there was no more plates. We're putting 25s and 10s on because all the young strong bucks are deadlifting like 650 in warmups. That's not me. And
Yep.
so I got out there and I didn't bother trying the 700, even though I would have loved to. The funny thing is, dude, I got a pretty cool moment because in the live stream, there's four people, right? And the
Yep.
camera can only kind of look at everybody or one person. And on a few times, like it didn't get my lift because I wasn't doing like the incredible Trump lift. But what happened was in my heat, the three guys with me went for 700. So, dude, I was strapped in hitting reps before those guys even lifted. So the camera went to me, and Gabe, Texas Titan Gabe, on the commentary. He's great. He even got my name right. He goes, Dane Bonin
Yep.
banging out reps. So the camera stayed on me for all of my reps. It was really awesome, dude.
That's
The one
cool.
good thing about not hitting Trump weight. How did you do? How'd you do on the sandbag medley, dude? That thing took a lot of guys' souls.
I did decent. That was my highest scoring event. Think I think I was like middle of the pack, like
Yeah, that's
maybe
good. You're a good mover.
18. Well, I like sandbags.
So you got some behind you in your gym there.
And yeah, and I even would have I maybe would have done a little better, but I fumbled the first one. I'd been tooling with this little slightly different technique to get a faster pick, and on the day of the show, it just didn't work. It didn't work out for me.
Yeah. Were you one
And
of the guys who tried tipping it down flat and then grabbing it?
well, no, like pulling it into me and catching it and literally one motioning it up so that you didn't have to shift it to get your arms under it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been nailing it in prep, no problem. And then, of course, on the day, it kind of I didn't get my arms around it in the right spot, and so it kind of flipped forward on me and cost me a second or two. But oh
Yeah,
well.
it's a race, man. Depending on the weight matrix, this year in Masters, the weights kind of stonewalled some guys, so there was a lot of time in between. But like in our class, dude, like 5 seconds, which is a lot, was like the
Yeah,
difference in like 20 something guys. I was quick on the bags. And it's funny because I had Colin Bryce on the commentary. So that's another thing, dude. It's awesome hearing Colin
that
Bryce
was that was
saying
pretty
my
cool.
name.
So yeah, yeah. Colin said my name too, and I was like, that's pretty sweet.
Dude, it's a cool like little ancillary thing that you get doing these shows. Like some people are there for prize money. Guys like us are just happy to be there, dude. So like we're cheesing even when we come in 20th, right?
Yeah,
Um, I got to the sled. It's funny. I told a story about Hannah Cold Iron. I didn't get a lot of warm ups on the sled. Um, and when I got to the sled, I just decided to push it with my hands. And dude, I got stonewalled. So then Alfredo Tatum took over, and he got fourth this year at OSG. But I shouldered it, and I did pretty well. That was my best event. I'm a better mover than a static guy. So all right, so dude, you did OSG, right? You got that experience. You tried to come back this year. Little injuries or whatever, schedule didn't work out. So now, what brings you? That my main focus of these podcasts is hyping up PSL. What brings you to PSL? Why are you trying to make it to the big show? Because that's the goal, right? To make it to the 90
yeah,
show.
yeah. I mean, number one is just I've heard so many incredible things, directly in conversations with guys, or even just the stuff that PSL guys have posted about how incredible the promotion is and how great they are with the athletes. And I mean, ultimately, right, going to OSG was awesome. I just want to get more opportunities to compete against guys like that. And, if for one reason or another one route doesn't work, it's nice to have another route. I wanted to do PSL last year, but like I said, after OSG, I felt really worn down, and jumping right into a qualifier in January, I was just like, man, that's just I'm not.
Yeah,
Not this year, maybe next year. And then obviously they added the Midwest. So that's really handy because as much as I wanted to do it, I didn't really want to catch a plane out to Sacramento or to Baltimore.
it's a long
Uh,
flight. A big
St.
commitment financially. Yeah,
Yeah, St. Louis is a 5 hour drive, so I can literally get up early the morning of weigh-ins and drive down, and
yeah,
provided there's not bad weather. And yeah, I mean, obviously, then if things go well at the qualifier, a chance to hopefully give my best against the other bests at the U90 level. So that
yeah,
I
man.
mean that really is the biggest reason. I mean, when I started competing, and things started to pick up a little bit, it really was never until OSG, I never had this like specific, I want to compete at this particular show or be at this certain level. It just was like, this is a fun ride. Let's see where it goes. And
Yeah.
I love to train. So, this is just a good opportunity, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's great, man. It is a great time. I haven't done I've done OSG, did some USS nationals. I haven't gone the SC national route yet. I've been qualified a couple times now, 3 times I think. And I might try and work that pathway this year, try and get to the honor or something. But I can compare PSL to OSG, which does a great job, and to like a USS Nats when you got 60 guys warming up. It's a great experience. If you didn't catch any of my YouTubes where I talk about our experience with me and Mike Ramirez, who did the 90 with me, who I'm going to have back on, my best friend and training partner. It's just awesome, dude. So I hope you make it. I think it'd be a welcome addition, not only strength wise, but like your personality seems great, dude. Like you're the type of guy who probably vibe and chill in the back. After the qualifier, dude, maybe I'll have you back on to talk about your experience at the qualifier. And hopefully, if you qualify, we can talk about your prep for the big show with the big guy Tyler Davis.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure. That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
it's really an awesome time, dude. I think you'll love it, dude. If you qualify, um, are you going to? Is that going to be like your primary focus? I got it from Tyler. We don't have the exact date yet, but it's going to be sometime in August. So would you try and jump in something else, or would you give a nice long prep for that and bring your best to that?
I do have a show that I'm signed up for in April, a local show here in Wisconsin. But other than that, the calendar for now is open. And yeah, it definitely would become a big focus for sure.
Yeah, that's funny. I
Um,
talked to you know what's funny is the guy I judge not misjudge I misconstrued the time. The guy I just talked to, Hunter, my teammate, he's a U80. I don't know when the U80 show is going to be, but I said, oh, maybe you can combine the PSL prep with doing the online qualifier, especially if the events kind of cross over. So like
right.
maybe your PSL peak, which is going to be in August, that will definitely coincide with an OSG online qualifier. Maybe you can kill two birds with one stone without destroying your PSL prep, because that's a problem too. People will try and win that OSG online, and then it's like, dude, if you do a heavy deadlift a week before PSL, you're not going to bring your best to PSL. So hopefully you can find
Yep.
maybe a regional if you want to make it back to OSG too. And then you're about 4 years away from joining me at Masters if you want. Masters is a vibe, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome, man. At OSG, it was awesome. And I'm sure you'll still be in the sport in 4 more years. With all this equipment you got behind you, it seems like you're heavily invested in. You got a nice
Yeah.
setup there, dude. I'm
It's a
jealous.
yeah, the garage gym's a good space. It's been, I mean, piece by piece over a lot of years, really, but now it's there's not much I don't. I mean, really, Atlas stones, and I have a cheap Titan stone of steel that's actually needs a little rehab work at the moment. But aside from stones, there's not a whole lot that I don't have. You can see the Slater log behind me here. That wasn't necessarily I need one of those, but first time I ever lifted one, I've like I have to have one.
That's badasses, man.
Gotta
How much
have
how
one.
much does that one weigh?
219 empty.
Oh, all right. So that's a good size one. I know, like I've
Yeah.
lifted Canby dudes, which is 292. It's a beast. And then every time I didn't know this about Slater logs that they come in different sizes. So like every time I see somebody like at one of my local gyms, Coliseum Barbell has one. I'm like, damn, like so and so can lift that, but they're not all the same. This one is like shorter, and I think it weighs 165. So you never know with a Slater log, but that's a great weight, 219. That's perfect,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it varies a little bit with the temperature and whatnot. So every
Yep.
once in a while, if I really need to make sure where I'm at, I'll, throw it on the scale. But yeah, it's fun. It
Yeah,
just
they
always,
can dry out or with the moisture, humidity.
yeah,
I think Canby's fluctuates like 2 to 5 pounds, believe it or not. So depending on what time of year is what kind of PR you're hitting. That was one I did right after OSG. We went YOLO, and I was with Canby and Mike O'Connor, two great guys, and I tried hitting the empty Canby log. It was like the first time I was ever in that striking distance, and I failed it twice, dude. Empty 292 failed, and then something clicked. He gave me some tips, and I smoked it. Right, so I was like,
oh
"Oh, dude,
wow.
let's go up." And my first 300 log was 302 on his log, and it was a grind, but it was a lot of fun, dude. I love those logs.
I mean, that's one of those things though, when the guys that you're around, that's worth something. Like
Oh
that
yeah,
that wasn't an accident that was the day that you hit that PR. At least
yeah,
not.
exactly. Yep. And I haven't hit. I don't think I haven't hit 300 since on the log, anyways. So you're in Madison, dude. Do you ever go? I think what was it? Madhouse? Is that the gym that I went? I went there after OSG. I trained for a day.
Madtown Fitness, yeah, where John trains out of a lot.
Yep.
I'm on the east side, and that's on the west. So
A little bit
I've
of a hike.
never actually been there. I've wanted to go a number of times. Mark Rosenberg, Deadliest Lift, he trains out of there a bunch.
I
Um,
think my buddy Dan from my team, Dan McDonald, he's a pro heavyweight. He's going to the Arnold. I know he's trained there before, but I think he lives in that area too. There's some good strongman out in Wisconsin.
yeah, I
Oh, my
mean,
buddy Bo from my team too. I think they're both in Wisconsin somewhere. So there's some good
it,
guys out there you could get with.
it was a pretty incredible. I wasn't obviously doing every training session with all those guys, and all. It's always schedule and where we meet, but we've got a really good local group, and so going into that 2024, actually the guy who's putting on the show that I'm doing in April, he's awesome. He helps with some of the local promotion. He's putting on this Max Monsters show in April, but he had us all up to Appleton as kind of like a OSG 24 like training camp day.
Yeah.
So it was, John Hack was up there, Bryce Johnson was there, Andrew Hanus was up there,
Yep.
and then We've got Clara Yope. She's in the U64s. She did a
I
PS
met her at PSL.
podium PSL, yeah.
Yep.
So she's part of our group. Her, I think fiance now, Brandon, he kind of spearheads um, all the get-togethers. Like
Yeah,
he's
that's
the
awesome.
guy that's always pushing the buttons to get people in one spot together. And I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow because they just opened a strongman gym, or they're opening a strongman gym in Oshkosh, and I'm heading over there tomorrow for the first time to train. But it just was like, this crazy. It was just very surreal to, have a day like that training with that caliber of athletes, because it was definitely not anywhere like I said, envisioned myself to be when I started this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, dude, because like I'm going through it now. Like you make it to these shows, you make it to the OSG, you make it to the PSL, you become contemporaries with these guys. Like, Tyler and Meg Davis maybe wouldn't have come on my podcast if I hadn't met them at OSG and at PSL. Brandon Burley came on the pod, Nick Hine, like these guys, like they all support the league and then we support each other. And like to get into those, I call it a training summit, right? I know Johnny Alaimo in New Jersey tried to put one together at Lightning last year for OSG. I couldn't make it that day, but I think same thing. The Stronger Together team came up. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was Heinous. It was oh geez, I'm drawing a blank. The Strongest Tattooer Cody came up, and a couple other good
Yeah,
guys from Lightning Fitness. Last year there was more guys doing OSG in New England than this year. But I'm spoiled because there's a lot of great gyms within like a 1 hour radius of me.
that's cool.
But no, it's isn't it great though when like I said it loosely the other day because like I say like your hero, like Canby Dude was one of my heroes of strongman when I first met him, and your heroes kind of become your friend. Heroes, I use that term loosely, right? Heroes are like war veterans, people like that, firefighters, you
Sure.
know.
Yeah, of course.
But like when your idols or whatever become your contemporaries, it's a really cool feeling, isn't it? It's something that like doing these shows, like it's an ancillary benefit that we get, dude. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah, it's still I mean, it's still niche to a degree, right? Even these guys, the degrees of separation from even folks just starting out in, like, the novice, or maybe they're doing their first open level show, like the degrees of separation between those folks and the guys or ladies at the top of the sport is they're not very far.
Yeah. Yep. And it's funny because like one thing I highlighted about PSL, and you'll get to experience this because I'm pretty confident you're going to make the final, right? And I look forward to seeing you there. Dude, like I went against a bunch of great guys, right? All sorts of great names, right? And I think it's only going to get bigger this year, bigger and better, just from like I said, word of mouth, little things like this. This podcast might help, but really just the word of mouth and the way that they treat people and the experience we get with the single weight class show. But dude, Tyler Davis has won everything there is to win. He won OSG. He's podiumed it 3 times. Podium this year. Victor Liegman just won OSG. He came in second. Like you're competing with the best of the best in a smaller, more intimate format. And those guys treated me like I was an old friend, even Victor. He was a super kind, great guy. Never met him before, and now we're like Instagram buddies, right? And those guys, dude, they beat me I came in fourth, and they beat me by 20 points. But
Yeah.
like, so like, do I really belong with them? Yes and no. Imposter syndrome. I made it to the show, but like, it was the Tyler and Victor show, and then Jesse Castens, who's also a killer. People don't know Jesse Castens, dude. Dude, when he's right, he's absolutely going to be one of the best in the world. Jesse, I'll hype him up right here, dude. He showed up to the qualifier last year. I was a U90. I jumped in last minute, took a chance, right? Very last minute, dude. I signed up with 5 days notice, and
Oh,
I
wow.
maintain to this day. There was one guy, I think his name's Brendan Swingrove. Sorry if I say that wrong. He was in prep for the Arnold, and for some reason he didn't show up. Very good athlete. There was Josh Dargis, who's very good. My buddy Jack Felag, um, and Castens, right? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna sign up, go down there, see what happens. Shout out to my buddy Mike Ramirez for driving me down there. I just cut weight. I took a sweat stick, slept in the back of my Jeep. He drove the whole way. But had everybody who signed up showed up or made weight, I probably would have got fourth or fifth, right? So I kind of got lucky to make it to this show, came in fourth here, brought my best, right? And now I'm going back next year, right? Um,
Very
Castens.
cool.
Let me get back to Castens. Castens missed weight. I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. Met him there. Met him again at PSL. Great guy, and he was at OSG this year too. He missed weight, dude. Right, so he probably had a little bit of a struggle. Clearly, when you miss weight, it's not going good, right? Dude, he went to 105, and if I'm not mistaken, he won 4 out of 5 events. And I
Oh my
think
God.
the fifth event, I think he took second. And there was 15 guys in that class. dude, he dominated that 105 class.
Wow.
Dude, he's that good. He's dealing with some health issues. I really shouldn't say on here that affected his training. He got invited to the 105 show. Something came up because he won his qualifier. So Tyler's a very gracious and fair promoter. Said, hey, Jesse, I feel for you. Why don't you come to the 90 show? Because I said right in Baltimore, I said, hey man, this guy just dusted everybody. Why don't you let him come to the 90 show where that's his weight class? And Tyler said, hey man, part of the sport is making weight. You got to prove that you can make weight. But he let Jesse come to this show, and Jesse got third. Jesse beat me by 12 or 14 points. I think 14 points. That's how good he is. And I'm not saying I'm that great, but dude, it was a three-man show. 1 through 3, way up here. 5 through 10 were in another grouping. But
Yep.
everybody was awesome at the show. The camaraderie. I can't wait for you to experience, dude. Like I hope I'm talking you into it right here.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you there, man. Dude, you work at the Princeton Club.
I do, yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about like not that there's much to talk about if you want to say it on a podcast, but it's funny. That's where I cut weight, dude. I had a horrific
Oh,
week for
okay, so
OSG.
it's funny, right? So, Andrew Haynes had put together that big like athlete packet, like "Welcome to Madison. Here's all the places."
Yep.
So I actually worked with him to get Princeton Club set up as one of the. I was like, man, I can't have access to these facilities and not try to help out my, fellow strongmen. Like, there's got to be, and so I got that cleared with my supervisors, and we opened that up for folks to come in. So that's cool. So yeah, so you
Yeah.
came to the East Side Club.
I forget if it was East or West. I mean, I could tell you it had a sauna and a steam room and a pool right there. There was like a track that went around
Yep. Okay.
downstairs.
Yeah. So yeah, you were at the East Side Club. So that's the club that I train out of or work
Beautiful
out of.
place. Beautiful place.
And yeah, it's a lot of Gen Pop training. I'm the director of training there. I've got 12 other trainers who work for me,
That's
and
awesome.
then it's as you saw, it's a pretty big facility. I've tried to put my finger on it a little bit and get
A little
some
strongman in there.
a little more strongman powerlifting things that maybe didn't quite exist when I got there 5, 6 years ago. But I'm lucky. I've actually had a few people come through that gym who, I mean, they had no intention of ever trying strongman, and I think I've gotten 4 or 5 like novice level strongmen to try it out. And I never push that on people. Like as much as I love it, I also feel like it's you gotta what they know about it is that what they see me doing it, and I let them come to me and be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I want to try that," and then
The
I'm like,
the
"Yes,
funny
let's do
thing
this."
about strongman, dude, is you don't
Uh,
have to push it. It pushes itself. If somebody
oh,
sees you walking with the yoke or shouldering a sandbag or hitting a circus dumbbell, a log, it's
yep,
optically pleasing and it's just visually contagious. Like somebody's like, "Hey, I
yep.
want to try that." Like, wait, there's weight classes and wait, it's
Speaks
only
to
a
people.
it's a 150-pound bag. I can do that. And people like try it and then dude, they get hooked, right?
Yep, yep. So that's been very fun to have some of my regular clients branch out into strongman and
Yeah,
give it a try. And
right.
I just love being in the gym. I mean, as you can see behind me, I got my setup at home. I've got my work, and I
Yeah,
kind of try to keep them separate a little, but obviously there's a lot of blurred lines there.
yeah.
But I feel like if you love what you're doing, it doesn't matter. It's good.
Yeah, I joined a little Ollie gym right down the street from my house, and I've just been accumulating my own stuff, much like you got there. And every show, I just keep buying more and more stuff, and that people there are more than welcome to use it. Some of them jump in; it's contagious. And I'd like to start a little strongman faction. It's a little slow going because like I'm more focused on my own athletic endeavors than trying to maybe have like a little like unsanctioned show or something. I might put something
Sure.
together for charity for like dog shelters or something, but it's something I look forward to doing maybe when I slow down a little bit. But no, your gym's great. It's funny how dude, it's already been like 35 minutes or so. Like we don't know each other from a hole in the wall, but we have a little bit of degrees of separation. It's a small community, strongman. Like I went to your gym. Like what a great
Yeah.
facility. That's another one, dude. Like I met Mick Myers, right? One of the best. He's the logo I
Yep.
found out the other day. This is Mick Myers. I
Oh
met
no.
him at OSG Baltimore last year. I just went in, yo, Uncle Nick. Like if you're not afraid to be outgoing and extroverted and say hi to people, a lot of strongmen are introverted. Clearly, I'm
Yep.
not. And if you can pull that out of them, dude, people want to be friendly and chat. And I'm finding that out here on the podcast. But I said hi to Uncle Nick, shooting the shit with him a little bit. He ended up buying one of my puppy calendars. I was selling calendars to raise money for a shelter. And then when I saw him, dude, he cut weight at the Princeton Club. We were both suffering in the sauna together, and we're just
Nice.
shooting the shit like we were old friends. What was great so what was funny, dude, I had to cut like 4 hours the night before weigh-ins and then 4 hours in the morning. And you guys had great hours. I appreciate that. And they let me come in for free the next morning because technically I had a 24-hour day
Oh,
pass. So that was
sweet.
great. And going back and forth between the steam room and the sauna was a nice option. And when I was in between bouts, I was just laying down in one of the lawn chairs at the pool. So it was great. The
Yep.
only thing, it was when you get out of the sauna, like you're shivering by the pool, I covered myself in towels. It's funny, dude. I went out, might have me on security cameras. I wanted to make sure the scales, because we had different conflicting reports on the scales. So I'm like,
Oh,
dude, screw it. I'm going out there to get a kettlebell. So I walked out on the gym floor in my underwear to get a kettlebell real quick. I was like, am I gonna get in trouble for this? But what was cool was and it's funny because like, dude, when you're in there suffering, you're in the sauna, you're just like, oh man, I got like 4 more hours of this. But there was a few OSG competitors, which was cool, and then they kind of came in and out at different hours. But at one point, dude, the sauna was full of all your like Gen Pop people from the
yeah.
gym, and they were just asking, "Oh, what is this? What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, by the way, this guy Nick Myers, being humble, he's like one of the best in the whole world. He won the show. Like he has this record and this record." And so that was really cool, man. Getting to know people in the sauna of all places, you
That's
know.
nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's a nice facility. How much did you have to water cut that last couple days?
So I have it all written down, but roughly, I was like 214, I think, when I got into the sauna, maybe 212, which is usually not a problem for me. I've cut from that before. And my nutrition coach, is fantastic. For this show, I was only in the sauna for about 2 hours total, not even, right? In and out every 15 minutes. I messed up my sodium load, dude. I was at the airport. I haven't told the story on here yet. I was at the airport. It was my last meal before the day where we kind of starve ourselves and then get in the sauna. And I needed protein, right? So I'm like, oh, I need red meat. I'll get some red meat. And dude, I got there's a toss up between like meatballs or um, I thought about getting some ready to drink protein shakes, but they had a lot of sodium in them. And I
Hmm.
knew to check the sodium. I didn't know to check the sodium content on a Wendy's burger patty. So I got a double patty, no cheese, took everything off of it. All I ate was the meat. Bro, it's like four
Oh no.
grams of sodium. I
Oh no.
completely messed up my load. People were making fun of me. I didn't tell my coach. I told my coach after I made weight, I said, hey man, I gotta be honest with you. I messed up. I don't want you to think this was you. Because he's like, what did I do? This kid had the perfect prep. How did I mess up this cut? Because my coach Frankie is known for like getting people to weight with minimal sweating, right? It's why I hired him, right? And I totally messed it up, and I was suffering because what happened was I was holding on to water. So I was in the sauna at your club, and it's like probably 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, man, I should just stop right now. Lynn from OSG told me I could go masters because I was 40 years old. He said, dude,
Oh,
you can go masters. So I literally masters is 105 kg. So I'm sitting in the sauna. It's a lesson in like fortitude, right? Because I talk it, but I back it up. I'm in the sauna, literally suffering. I'm like 208 pounds still, dying. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have like 5 or 6 more hours of this. I'm gonna come back in the morning. And I said, why don't I just quit now, go get some water, get some food, and just go 105, go masters. And I said, nope. I set out to do the Open 90 show for glory. Like I'm 40 years old. I thought it was a cool story to go against the Young Bucks, make it to the biggest show in the toughest weight class. And dude, you were there.
yeah.
I think that was the most competitive 90 kg weight class ever. It's either that or Chaos from a couple years ago or OSG
Yep.
this year, right? And last year, dude, you had Heinous, you had Hack, you had O'Hare, you had more guys
Yep.
this year. And that's not saying anything disrespectfully, right? I think
No,
people
no, it was that was a it was, they when they start adding the list as people officially register, right? And I'm watching that U90 list grow that my name was on, and I'm like, oh
dude,
shit.
you can say that you competed. Like I know John Hack isn't big in the strongman world, but dude, he's done like 2 or 3 shows and he podium Chaos, dude, which at the
Everybody
time was
knows
big.
on hack.
So like say what you will, he's a power lifter, dude. He is a legit athlete, dude. He dusted us on the carry event. Like that man is gifted.
So much powerful, so much
Right.
power,
And the
so much
deadlift, he
power.
won the deadlift without a suit. Like incredible athlete, great guy too. Great to chat with in the
Yeah.
back. But there was that thing in my mind, like, no, I said I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it, right? And dude, we did it. Yeah, we probably both wish we did a little bit better, right? But we competed in probably the greatest weight class, not the greatest weight class of all time, the most competitive 90 kg class of all time. So in the sauna, in that moment, I'm suffering, and I'm like, oh, I got like 5, 6 more hours of this, which I did. But what happened, the next day, I was in there 4 hours, but right around 9 a.m., like the weight just kind of started flying off. And that's probably when the sodium left my body, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Shout out to my coach, Frankie, because this year, dude, I hit everything perfect. I didn't mess up any sodium. And I was in the sauna with my buddy Mike Ramirez, Pinkerton. All the guys were in the sauna hamming it up. I was in there for, like I said, I was in the gym probably 2 hours total, but I was like 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, 10 in, 15 out. Dude, it was a breeze. It's one of the reasons why I'm going to stay United. Because like right now I'm 225, dude. And like I could get up to 250 if I wanted to. It won't be healthy, but like I'm 6 feet
Same.
tall, and I'm gonna keep going, dude, because I had so much fun at this show. I'm going back, dude, 100%. As long as I don't get hurt, that is the
Yeah.
primary show for me. And I believe in it, and I look forward to seeing you there, man. I really do.
Yeah, to that point, I took a lot of grief at family get-togethers yesterday being Christmas. Oh man, you can't even go one day. Like, I'm like,
Yep.
dude, I'm 30 days out and yesterday when I woke up, I think I was like 216.
Oh no,
Uh,
man, you're in a great spot.
well, I mean, I'm in a decent spot, but it's still too close to go too hog wild. So I actually
Yeah.
had a plan, because I love Christmas cookies. I don't know about you, but like the sweets at
Dude, I got
Christmas.
some upstairs. I told my wife, can we throw them out? She's like, no, I'll bring them to work. I'm like, if you don't throw them out now, they'll be gone by Monday.
Yeah, they absolutely get me. So what I did was I had my wife get one of her old cookie tins out of the storage room, and I was like, I'm taking that cookie tin to all the different festivities we're going to, different houses, whatever. And every time that my brain would be like, oh, I really want a cookie, I'm gonna get up and go get the cookie or whatever little snacks I would normally get, but instead of eating them, I'm just gonna put them in that tin, and then I'm gonna bring that tin home, put it in the freezer. So after the qualifier, when I get home, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of good Christmas treats to
I
eat.
like it. I like it, dude. Yeah, that's the one nice thing about OSG this year. It was before Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
But yeah, I know the struggle, dude. Like, yes, could you have eaten Christmas dinner? Yes, but then it's just more work that you have to do, and it's tough with family. You have a couple kids, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
I
I'm
do.
sure there's all
Yeah,
sorts of snacks around the house.
yep, yep,
Yep. It's like staying true to the goal, because I joke around with my friends. It's funny. People say in the bodybuilding world, right? Because you have to do a lot more cardio in bodybuilding. 'Cause you have to get down to like 5% body fat, if not less. Are you hungry for that cookie, or are you hungry for the win, right? Because like that cookie, if that's 100 calories, dude, that's 10 minutes on the stepper. Like that's brutal. So it is
yep.
tough to say. I feel you, dude. Like right now, I've been effing off. We haven't sworn on this podcast. It's really nice because I swear a lot. I've been effing off on my diet big time, but I know I have a little leeway because one of my goals this year, maybe you'll appreciate this, is stay in striking distance of United in case a good pro-am comes up or a good opportunity or a regional. The calendar's
Yep.
not announced yet. So the number one first show is PSL in August. So I have plenty of time. I am, I got one foot on the diet pedal and one foot on the have fun
Yep.
and eat a little more food till New Year's pedal.
I
I'm getting there.
I can relate to that exactly because that's literally what I've been doing since OSG last year. It's like I want to stay in that like 215 to 218 range. Then it's like if I do a 220 USS, like I don't have to do anything. I just roll out of bed and I'm
Yep.
also within striking distance of cutting. And I did really great all the way from last year, all the way till August and September of this year. And then I had a trip to Mexico for a week
Hey, me
that
too.
had a trip up to the local show that got me started in Strongman, Great Lakes Strongest Man in Michigan, where I used to live for a long, like 4-day weekend. And then my dad and I went to Canada moose hunting in
I
September.
saw that. Yeah, you got
And I did
a
not,
big buck.
yeah, thanks. I did not expect that to be like a big food experience, not having done that before, but our guides were like incredible, the level that they took care of us, where we were literally eating fresh, like Arctic caught, because both our guides are full-time fishermen. The hunting season, there's only 5 days, so you can't just be a guide and survive.
Yeah.
So we were eating fresh shrimp, fresh lobster, fresh crab, fresh scallop, like four times a day on top of pastas, and then they still had like the goodie treat. And so between August and September, I went up to like 227. And I was like,
That's not
shit.
bad, dude. Yeah, that's good. You got to fuel the body too. You know, as long as you know you get
Yeah,
back to work, very much like me right now. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, it's dude, you must feel great though. Like you said, you were in the 230s for a long time, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
and
That
you're
was
36 years old, so your joints, you probably feel really good, right? Like you feel healthy.
I do, yeah, yeah. Body feels pretty good overall. I feel like I'm kind of, if not 100% over, at least well enough over the hiccups that I had over the summer. Been doing a lot of like quality PT work and just making sure
Good.
that I'm staying on top of that stuff outside of my regular training. And
Yep.
so I'm excited for what 2026 is going to be. But we'll
That's
see.
awesome, man.
We've got a month
Yep.
and it'll be underway.
That's awesome, man. Well, stay true to the diet. I hope you have a nice, easy cut. I look forward. I'm pretty sure PSL live streams everything, so I look forward to watching. I really wish I could get out to the Midwest. I just said it to Hunter. I said it to Burley and my buddy Sky too, because I have a lot of people now that I know out there more than I know. I know a few in Baltimore, but I can't make it all happen. I got a wife and dog at home, and I've committed to a lot of stuff this winter. So, but
Yep.
I look forward to watching you, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully get on that podium and seeing you at the big show in August. Man, it was really great
Yeah.
to meet you. Um, I think we'll leave it at that, dude. That was a really great conversation. I had a great time. Thank you for coming on,
Yeah,
dude.
I had a lot of fun, Dane. Thanks for doing this, and I'll make sure I keep checking out the other ones you're doing. I look forward to it.
All right, man. Thank you.